Hello, folks. So here I am with Filipina Unfiltered. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi. Well, thank you for having me and inviting me on your channel. My name is Corinne. I am Filipina Unfiltered on YouTube. I was born in the Philippines. I immigrated with my family to the United States when I was 5 years old. So many, many years ago, I started this channel to express my unfiltered views as a middle-aged Filipina American woman. Um, Middle age. I'm actually past that. I'm 58 years old. I just turned 58 years old. So here I am.
All right. So before I was going to ask you about when you said you came here when you were 5. So I would say you are more American than a Filipina.
Well, I will always be Filipino at my core. Okay, that's who I am. That is my being. But yes, I am also American. I grew up here since I was 5 years old. Okay, so I was educated here. That is every that is a big goal of every Filipino parent, right? Is to educate their children. So I was educated here. Went to college here. Um, am I more Americanized? I'm not sure what that really means. I have definitely adapted and adopted a lot of the customs, traditions, beliefs
Hmm.
of Americans, um, independence, loving my freedom, loving my individualism. But I'm also I'm very fortunate. I grew up biculturally. My parents very instilled in me, taught me, kept teaching me Filipino culture, me and my sister. I'm bilingual, so I'm very fortunate to be that. So I have very strong ties with the Philippines. So I am a mix of both and proud of each cultural background that I'm in.
So do you have like any recollection of being in the Philippines when you were 5 years old? You still have any recollection that the places or something like that?
I actually do. So I say in the Philippines, you start kindergarten like I think at 4, maybe even sooner. Um, so yeah, I went to St. Paul Catholic School, all girls Catholic
Oh.
school. I kind of still have vague memories of that.
Hmm.
Uh, I have memories of my Lola, my grandmother there. And then
Okay.
I was actually really fortunate because when I was 10 years old,
Hmm.
my father sent me back, and me and my sister and my mom back to
Oh,
the.
okay.
I went there for school for a year, so that had really a lot of
Oh,
memories. I went back to St. Paul. I spent grade 4 there.
okay, great. So how did you come up with your channel name, Filipina Unfiltered?
Well, see, that's the thing of, when you ask me about are you more Americanized, more Filipina, when I was thinking about that, I go, well, who am I really, and who do I want to, what is the message? What is the objective that I want to portray or convey through this channel? I go, really, when I really ask myself, I'm Filipina. I'm Filipino American, but I'm Filipina at my core, like I said.
Hmm.
And for the first time in my life, I'm going to be unfiltered. Meaning, it doesn't mean say whatever I want and I don't care what anybody says or thinks about it. It just means that I'm going to be really honest and truthful. And well, I've been that way, but on social media this time, really in
Uh-huh.
this, I've never expressed myself in this way before. So.
Oh, really? Okay, good. So, um, I was watching your channel. You were just very new. I think you mentioned that you started like in August.
Yep.
So that was like just 7 months, something like that. But you did very well. You have like over 3,000 subscriber, and
Thank
then uh, and then I was just watching your video. Uh, I mean, I was kind of shocked to see how much you have covered already. It's all very interesting topic. You did your work. I don't know how you came up with that idea. Just to talk about about the video, but you cover so many things. Let me just go. I don't have a very photographic memory, but I was just watching this. I think this like a playlist, something like that. You have like, are you lonely? All kind of thing. Do not move to America from the Philippines unless you have a mate, and then all kind of things. And then the other things you did mention that I was rejected by Filipino men. So that's kind of interesting. So you want to just touch a little bit, when you said you were rejected by a Filipino man?
Sure. Well, I have a long lifetime already, 58 years old, a lifetime of experiences and stories and things that have happened to me. So that one, I don't know what pops into my head. I can't believe I'm going to post about this being rejected by Filipino men. And maybe when I thought about it, yeah, it's like I've always wanted a Filipino boyfriend. Um,
Mhm,
I grew up in the States. I grew up in very homogenous, ethnically homogenous neighborhoods, right? So um, uh, basically, me, my sister, sometimes we're the only Filipinos in school, or one of very few Filipinos in the schools or neighborhoods, things like that. So
mhm,
I thought, well, because when I got accepted into Berkeley, I thought, oh man, this is like the most diverse, ethnically diverse, racially diverse place I've ever been. So I was really excited. I go, oh, cool! I'm gonna meet other Filipinos. I'm gonna get I'd like a Filipino boyfriend. I don't know why it popped into my head like that. It's pretty racist if you think about it now, to specify an ethnic group of men or something.
mhm.
So I tried. Yeah, I don't know. What it is. But it just didn't work out. And uh, when you stop that mindset of I want to get this specific thing or that specific thing, then the right man eventually popped up. He became my husband
Uh,
and father of my children. So
okay, so you're looking for a Filipino boyfriend, you end up with a Caucasian boy.
I ended up with the person that I was supposed to end up with. Yes.
Okay. All right, so I don't know. Sometime do you think when you say that I think you talk about the dance, you go to the dance, and then the Filipino they prefer I guess they prefer to be dancing with the American or the foreigners. Are they Filipino born here, or they are Filipino from the Philippines? This man that you're talking about.
Which one? Like the one
You
the
said you went to a dance studio, or no, dance party,
Oh,
like.
the
Mhm.
student dance. Yeah, so that was the third time I was rejected by Filipino men. It was a student club. It was an Asian student club
What,
that put on
uh,
this.
my question was, are they Filipino men from the Philippines, or Filipino who were born here in the U.S.?
Okay, so I think you're talking about the one where we were putting on the dance for the Filipino Student Association, right?
Yes.
Okay. Um, you know what? I think they were a mix.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
I think they were all Filipino Americans like me. I didn't come to think of it. Yeah, I didn't detect any accent or anything. So they
Okay.
might have been born here. Yeah, they might have been born here or came here at a young age like me.
Mm. No, the reason I asked you because we sometimes this is what I noticed. Sometimes people in the Philippines, they kind of look up to the American people. They think they are beautiful for us. But then over here, the American people, they look at the Filipina, they thought, the Filipina are the most beautiful, lady, something like that. It's vice versa. It's totally different. That's why I seen a lot of Filipina. They like to, put makeup to make them lighter skin and something like that. And I remember telling them, just be who you are. You'll be shocked that a lot of American women, they would like rather to have the skin color, like morena, something like that. They don't want to be too white. So what's your take on that one?
I love my skin color. Yeah, absolutely. Well, if you've been to the Philippines, they still have all the whitening creams, things like that. Uh, I've never had a problem with my skin color. Some people, I've even had family members who told me, you'd look pretty if you weren't so dark, Corinne." And I'm just like, that has never affected my self identity or self worth. I was proud to be my skin color. I was always proud to be who I am. I never wanted to be lighter or look a certain way. So, yeah, no.
Well, yeah, no. What I'm saying is the Filipina lady in the Philippines, they always wanted to be lighter skin.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But they should not worry about that. They should just be themselves. That's what I'm trying to try to make a point there. But okay, let's see
I
here.
agree with you. I agree with you.
I also watched this one of your video. You talk about the this title was the kind of lost here. Oh, Filipina scammer or expat twice her age.
Uh huh.
And this is about the American. He's 72, and then he met a Filipino who's only almost half. His age is only 32 years old, and then he started to buy things for her, and then he was complaining later to the blogger that he felt like he was being scammed by the Filipina, right?
Right.
Uh, and then I like how your take on this whole story, and then your point was you were saying that for you, you feel like they both got what they want. The American older American, he wants a younger Filipina. That's what he got, and then of course the Filipina looking for like a provider. That's what she got. So for
Yeah.
I think what you're saying, there's really not no loss here. It's a both wanted what they want, so they deserve it, I guess. But okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I think well, I mean there was a sense of loss where the expat, the foreigner, felt that he was, he thought he she had genuine affection for him, and he felt monetarily used.
Mm,
So, and I can absolutely sympathize with that. But then, like you said, he did get what he wanted, and in that video from another vlogger, he was portraying himself like a victim, right? Almost. And I felt like, well, they were kind of victims of circumstance, both of them. The Filipina, maybe not, does not have the same financial resources that he had. So
mm,
she maybe was in that kind of relationship. Or maybe she did have genuine affection for him. So who's to say? Her side wasn't really, she wasn't interviewed in that video. So,
mm.
um, but I think what my point in that video that I made was there should be accountability on both sides, not just him portraying himself as the victim. Like you said, he got what he wanted. Okay. So it cost him maybe a little more than he thought, but he got what he wanted. So,
Okay, so if you have to advise, a foreigner, 72, and then he come to you say, Korean, I met the Filipina. I'm so much, in love with her, and I think she loved me too. She's only 32. What would you advise him? If he asks for your opinion.
Sure, sure. I would definitely advise him to sit down and have a talk with her, a very honest, open discussion about expectations. What do you expect from me? You know, do you expect me to support your family? Do you expect me to pay for this and remodel your house and things like that? And I think if those expectations are um, discussed up front, then there won't be a sense of I was taken advantage of. I mean, some things are definitely going to be might come up that you don't expect,
Mhm.
but at least you can have some sort of foundation and groundwork where you can tell the young lady, it's like, I'm going to give you a budget. This is just a suggestion. I'm going to give you a budget. Here it is. That's all you get. You know, spend it wisely.
I think that's a good, good advice, to give somebody advice. No, I really do. Now, let's reverse the situation. If the what would you think? What do you think of the Filipina? Do you think the Filipina scam? This gentleman.
I don't know her. I would not formulate an opinion like that for don't know the circumstance. I haven't talked to her, and we only heard his side. Um, but if I were to talk to her, I would tell her it's like not all foreigners are rich. Okay, so yeah, he's gonna be older than you. He's gonna have more resources than you, but he is here genuinely looking for a relationship, a romantic partner. So if you don't feel that, if you can't feel that way for him that he would like, then, you know, be honest with him, be honest with yourself. So,
I think we have seen so many cases like that. Older foreigner go to the Philippines and they go to this dating site and they met a younger Filipina, and then for like say like for the first month it was all good like honeymoon, and then after that it start to falling apart, and now the Filipina introduced the whole family now, and it seems like the whole family has become his burden. He has to support the whole thing. So I think for me, I think as what let me rephrase my question. Do you think this is like uh, the Filipina is a scammer, or do you think it's a fault of the foreigner? Do you think it's a setup by the foreigner? Because it's to me sometimes it sounds like a setup. Why I say that, I'm gonna tell you, and then I'm gonna hear your opinion, because sometimes foreigner they met somebody on a dating site and they see this beautiful young Filipina and they really wanted her, so they try to impress her, say, oh, do you need anything, or if she say, oh yeah, yeah, I need some load or something like that, okay, I give you load. And then so and then if for some reason for the next few days he could not reach her, and then the concern, and then the Filipina said, hey, because I'm having problem with my cell phone, and then the phone says, okay, would offer say, or why don't I get you a new cell phone, something like that, because they want to right away hold on to that Filipina,
sure.
because they were insecure that they think maybe this foreigner, he's older, he's bigger or something like that, and he kind of concerned that he might lose the Filipina to other foreigners. So like there's a competition. So I think sometime maybe it's a fault of the foreigner. Maybe the Filipina doesn't mean, she doesn't want. She's not a scammer. It's just like present to her. Of course, when it present to you, sometimes you will just take it, especially when you're poor. I can understand that, So what do you think of that scenario of what I'm thinking?
Um, well, I don't like to speak on things that I don't have personal experience with
I
myself
get
or
you.
know people who personally do that, or has that personally happened to them? If they'll tell me their story,
mhm,
sure, then I can speak to it. But I really, really try to not generalize about situations, or maybe we've seen a few stories of it. I mean, it sounds like a very plausible scenario for sure. Definitely, it does. But I think the foreigner or expat or whoever is providing such resources should definitely think about a limit, maybe a limit of what they want to spend or give. Look, in any situation, if you are starting to feel resentful or suspicious, but mostly resentful about giving, then and it's not making you feel good, and you are feeling maybe taken advantage of,
mhm,
then stop. Then don't. You know.
mhm.
So yeah, it's that simple. Just stop.
That's good. That's good advice. So let's see here. And then you did mention that you. Oh, by the way, I have to. You did mention that you were divorced in 2005, and you have a twin. You have the twin daughters.
Yeah,
They were 10 at that time, and you did not ask for alimony. All you asked for your husband at that time, when they ready for college, you just have to pay for
yeah,
for the
that's
college.
our deal. Yes,
Mhm.
which he did, which he honored.
It's so many people will say, why did why you didn't ask for alimony, what's your your what's the reason,
Well, I first want to say there's absolutely nothing wrong with getting alimony or child support. Many women need that, especially the ones who've stopped working to take care of the children when they're young, and that was me as well.
Mhm,
But for me, I saw some of my friends who were going through a divorce or already went through a divorce, and now they're still like taking, going to court for child support or adjustment, things like that. You know how it is here in the in the States, right? It's a never ending thing. And I see them like once a month when they're waiting for that check or the funds, and sometimes it's late, sometimes it doesn't come, and it would create so much stress
mhm,
for not just the parent, but also especially for the children, because they can feel that, they hear it, they see it, and I just didn't want my children to go through that. Okay, I just, for me, that was the right thing for me that I decided to do. And I also, I went back to work. I knew that I could make my own money, and I also had the support of my own family. If I needed something, I knew I wouldn't be homeless. My children would have anything and everything they still needed, if needed, you
mhm,
know.
mhm.
So I wanted to do that. I wanted to do that for myself, and I just wanted to avoid those kinds of the the
Yeah,
antagonism that
those,
I.
the tense, because you have seen, other from your friends that they, how they went through like that. So you don't want that to happen, and then you don't, you kind of very protective of your twins, of your daughters. You don't want to give them this, back and forth between, the parents, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, basically, and I think any mother wants to protect their children, but I
Mhm,
and will make sacrifices for them, of course. But I think more so as a Filipina, that was the Filipina in me. It's like,
mhm.
I don't care what, I'll do what I need to do. So, which I did.
Right. And are you already in real estate, during that time?
No, no, I wasn't. I was in public relations and marketing. So that
Oh, okay.
my first career was as a journalist, and then
Oh,
I transitioned. I'm a writer. I loved writing, so I transitioned into marketing and public relations.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. So now you are a real estate, you in real estate business, and you can do it. You can sell it here in US, in Las Vegas, and you also have a license to sell in the Philippines. You affiliated with, I think, Ayala's.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Oh,
I'm a accredited marketing partner with Ayala Land.
mhm,
So yeah, in the Philippines. So I really wanted to be global in my business. So
mhm,
from selling here as well as there, and that really fell in line with my own long term objective, which actually not that long from now go, to retire there. That
mhm.
was also why I started my channel as well. Is my journey of retiring eventually in the Philippines in a few years.
So I think from one just and looking at your situation, I think you're thinking way ahead. You're thinking way ahead. Like you're still young. 58. You think you have to be at least 62. You still 4 more years, but that's a good 4 years to kind of to set up yourself. For the homecoming something.
Time goes fast. The older we get, the older I get, the faster time goes. So it's here before you know it. Um, yeah, so that's what my plan is. My father retired to permanently, moved to permanently to the Philippines 4 years ago, and
Mhm,
so this got me kind of starting. I see the kind of care he's getting, and just his lifestyle there, and being surrounded by family all the time.
mhm,
So when I went back 2 years ago, so this last trip that I was with for 2 weeks, last week I just came back. It was my fourth trip in 2 years.
mhm.
So it's a journey, you
Yes.
know, uprooting yourself after living in this country for 50 years at least, and then moving to another country, even moving back to our motherland. It's a big step, and there's a lot of pieces to it. So it's not instant. It takes a couple years.
Mhm. Yeah, I think you mentioned that your dad is already retired in the Philippines, but your mother was still here. She doesn't.
Yeah.
She's still.
Yes.
She's still not ready yet.
Yeah, it's a bit unusual. It's not common, but I know of friends that in similar situation with their parents, they're
Mhm.
still married. I tell people they're in an LDR. So, yeah, no, she lives here. She has decided that she does not want to live there in the Philippines. Okay, this is her home. The United States is her home.
I
So.
don't know. Is it maybe because she have your twins, and then I also your daughter has a baby, right? Has
Yes, yes, I'm a Lola. I'm a Lola to a
so,
10.
maybe is that why maybe your mother felt like there's still some attachment here.
Yes, same as me. Like I couldn't live in the Philippines all year round. I would need to. Uh, my plan is to split my time
Mhm.
between the Philippines and the United States because I could not be away from, especially my children are grown. They're fine. They've got lives of their own. We did our jobs. I did my job. So, but I don't want to miss out on my grandson and future grandchildren. Right. So.
Have they been to the Philippines by any chance? Your
My daughters, oh yeah, they were there when they were 2, they were 10, and then right after college they went there. That was their last visit. My
the,
daughter went with me my first trip last year in July, I think. July, August. Yeah. One of my daughters, yeah. So they're very familiar with the Philippines. They love it. They love going back there.
okay. So I think this is also good timing for you. You when you decided to go back to the Philippines because real estate to me, I think it's booming in the Philippines. Uh, Unlike here, we have like a Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, tell me about it. Yes, for sure. Yeah. Um, the Philippines is a great central location
Mhm,
to jump off. if you want to travel around that part of the world, and even other people coming to the Philippines. There's actually a large population of from China, mainland China,
Yeah.
Koreans who live there, and of course Americans. I think there's about over 300,000 Americans who
Mhm.
live there permanently. So,
I was surprised when I did my Google research on the Philippines, how many by nationality foreigner in the Philippines, and I think Korea came second or first. I was surprised that so many Korean are in the Philippines.
yes, a lot. When my last trip, when I was there for 2 months, October and November, I visited Cebu,
Mhm.
and the hotel that I stayed in, I think it was 95% Philippine Koreans.
Korean, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So since real estate is booming in the Philippines, we all know that foreigners you cannot buy land, but you can own a condo, right,
Yes,
in the
yes.
Philippines. So okay, all right. So to just for foreigner viewer, just to let them know, they if they want a place, a permanent place in the Philippines, they can get a condo. They don't have to
Mhm.
buy a
Yes.
like house or lot or something like that.
They can buy, but they would have to put, the house or lot, but they have to put it in their Filipino
Somebody.
spouse's name.
Yes,
Yes.
friend. I don't think they can put it on the spouse. From if I'm not mistaken, uh, if they put it on their spouse, yeah. Let me just correct myself. They can put it on their spouse, but a lot of just to protect themselves. The foreigners, they have to sign a lease back to them for 25 years.
Yeah.
But that's not from the spouse. Some reason the Philippine they don't want that. It can be a friend can be sign you back a 25-year lease, but not the spouse. I heard that from somebody, from I think somebody's they are doing like a visa, something like that.
Mhm.
That's
Mm.
what they were advising you. Not from a spouse. If you want to have the have the 25 years lease, you cannot get that from a spouse. That's what I was what I understand.
Okay.
Like a Filipina American, right? How do you handle like discrimination? How do you have you experienced or how do you handle that discrimination?
Yes, I've experienced it. How do I handle it? Not well. And especially in the beginning, my early. It's funny you asked that because I was just this story this memory came to mind like just a few days ago. I think my earliest recollection of experiencing racism, discrimination, and was when we first moved here. We lived in Alameda, right, in Northern California,
Uh-huh.
and lived in a working class, kind of a blue collar neighborhood. My dad found the only neighborhood in Alameda, Naval Base Alameda, where there's tons of Filipinos. He found the only neighborhood where it was all white people, no Filipinos. So we lived in a duplex, and my sister and I were playing outside one afternoon, and this dog came running across the street and started barking really menacingly at us. And I saw that the dog came from this another apartment across the street, and there were two teenagers sitting there, and it was their dog, and they were laughing. I remember them laughing, and even at that age, I remember thinking, that's not something's that's not just not nice, but something's not right about this in a certain way. And then my mom finally came out and she heard me and my sister, I guess, screaming or something, and she had her broom and she, shush, shoot away the dog. But that was I think that was like my first memory of it. And then later on, they were really more out, very. definitely more obvious um, instance of racism. You know, I've been called the slurs, gook, chink, whatever. Go back to Japan, go back to, you know,
Wow.
China, things like that. I've had rocks thrown at me, you know, when I was running
Oh, that's horrible.
in my path, stuff like that. But, you know, a lot of people here in the U.S. have experienced a whole lot worse, of course. But
Oh, okay.
those were some of my experiences.
Oh, that's horrible. I would not. I was surprised because you were talking about in California, and we all know that California, it's everybody's there. We
Yeah,
have a lot of Filipino, and why would they kind of discriminate? Maybe are you in a like a higher end neighborhood, something like that? Or why would they act that way? So.
I think it happens at any type of socioeconomic setting that can happen in any setting.
Hmm.
But yeah, obviously, I've been in more in where there's not a whole lot of diverse people. That's where it happens. But that happens also in diverse neighborhoods as well. Because I think, yeah, in California, because there's all of us everywhere,
Yeah,
right? So
exactly.
there's more opportunity for
Yeah.
those kinds of incidences.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that because I never experienced like that. I did, experience discrimination. I'm very cool. I don't care. Sometimes I like mine is more mild. Like I was talking to somebody, and they keep referring me to Filipino because I'm not Filipino, by the way. I'm Chinese. I was born in the Philippines, born and raised in Philippines. But then you be talking to them, and they will keep like refer me like Filipino or something. And I sometimes they will say here we don't do that, things like that. But he was they were really like uh consider me as a not a citizen of this country, and I had to give him kind of reminded, what I'm also a U.S. citizen.
Right.
Kind of why are you trying to exclude me? But I just take it as a humor. I don't take it so seriously. And there are
That's
times that I use like when people like kind of discriminate you, I use that as a to my advantage.
that's good.
Well, to my advantage when I say that, because now, because I'm a foreigner, I can get away with other things. Like I can talk slowly that you will not say anything, or I don't have to pretend I'm very smart, something like that. So that for me, that's what I do. Personally, I don't encounter like you were saying that that's for me it's just it's sad, when people act that way. It's kind of very sad. So
It is. Yeah, it is.
yeah.
Okay.
Anything you want to share? Anything? Last word from you.
Um, I again thank you so much for inviting me to have this fun talk with you. I appreciate it. It's always nice to kind of it's like going behind the scenes of my channel, right? Of your channel.
Uh-huh.
Get to talk about it. So I just appreciate my subscribers and my viewers who don't subscribe, but they keep watching me anyway. So I appreciate that because it is. I think I started it because it's like I didn't see a whole lot of voices like mine. So I really just, you know, I'm not hoping to change anybody's opinion or change the world or anything like that. But if I could just offer my own voice, throw my own voice up in there, and just the comments that I get from some of the viewers have been just amazing to me. They when I have comments like, you know, Corinne, I never thought of it that way, but now that you brought it up, I'll start thinking a little differently, or I'm going to start thinking about that. And that is all I ask for. I think
Mhm.
that's amazing that we can open respectful, constructive
Yeah,
dialogue.
that's right. But you know what? You're the first, though. You're the first that I know that Filipina American that start to blog about these things. You basically you're talking about the Philippine. Also, you're sharing about the American culture. That's what I was trying to do too.
Yeah.
Uh, since I was born in the Philippines, I came here when I was 25,
Okay.
and I lived here pretty
Wow.
much all my adult life. And now I'm retired, so I'm gonna go. I don't know yet where I'm gonna go.
Well, that's exciting. Congratulations. The
Yeah,
whole world.
yeah.
You
We'll
is
see.
that
We'll see.
yeah,
We'll take it one step at a time, I guess.
right. That's right. It's these are big steps, right? It's big
Yeah.
steps. So
I'm a kind of a I'm not like most people that they can think about something and then they boom they just go. I see a lot of blogger they keep saying, oh, I sell out everything I own and then I just go to the Philippines. I done that when I was 25, but I was younger. I was
mhm.
younger. I was
Yeah.
25. I still own a property I have a townhouse in Novaliches,
Oh,
suburb of Manila. I owned that before I came here, so I still have a place. But pretty much, I also like, hey, I pack up everything and then migrate to the U.S. But that's different. I was 25 then. I was young.
yeah.
And then I remember when I came here, I was kidding my friend in the Philippines. I said, "Don't worry, guys. In 5 years, I'm gonna retire."
It's different. It's different making moves in this stage. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But anyway, so I also want to thank you. And then if you want to invite me, to your channel, I'll be happy to do that. So
Okay. Yeah.
just
Let me know when you're in the Philippines.
yeah,
Absolutely.
just
To
let me know.
talk about your experiences there.
Sure. All right. Anyway, thank you so much. I
Thank you
will,
so much.
I will probably upload this tonight or
Oh,
tomorrow, and then
okay.
I'll give you the link so you can watch it first before
Okay.
the viewer, the public.
I
So
trust you, but yeah, okay. I appreciate it. Thank you.
thank you
Okay.
so much.
Thank
Check
you, Kimball. Okay. Have a good night.
you
Bye bye.
too. Bye bye.